How do you ensure that your jeans are always looking as good as possible? Well, by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly when to cuff the bottom of your jeans. I've helped thousands of guys look better, and now it's time to do the same for you. If I sound like a croaky frog in this video, I'm sorry, it's my sore throat. But either way, let's talk jeans. If you want to cuff jeans, you can cuff them whenever you want. But aesthetically, sometimes it looks good, sometimes not so good. I'm going to start with the situations where you should cuff your jeans, or at least you can cuff them to still look quite good. And then at the end, I'll be covering situations where I think that cuffing your jeans is disastrous. The first and the most obvious one here is you can cuff your jeans when your trousers are too long. Now, if your trousers are like 6 inches too long, then this probably isn't going to save you. We'll talk about that one towards the end. But if your trousers are maybe an inch, maybe 2 inches too long, it could still be an option. If you're wearing a pair of jeans that are way too long normally, you'll see that the material starts to stack up, or it just gets really baggy and folds around the shoes, often leading to the situation where you're standing on the bottom of the jeans, and it looks all ripped, doesn't look good. So in many cases, a small fold can be a good option. The second situation where cuffs can be quite useful is when you're wearing boots. As I'm sure you know, boots sit higher than shoes, and as a result, they can start playing with the bottom of your trousers a bit, often causing the bottom of your trousers to look like an accordion, with about 20 breaks in them. Doesn't tend to look good. So in that situation, if you want to maintain a bit more of a clean look without trying to tuck the trousers inside the boots, then cuffing them a fraction can make a big difference. Once more, this is down to the cut of the jeans and personal preference. In some cases, with slightly wider fits of jeans, you're probably going to want them to just sit on the outside of the boot anyway. The third situation where cuffing jeans is pretty appropriate is if you're going sockless. If you're going sockless, that's a casual look. I've seen too many pictures on Instagram of guys wearing regular length trousers and attempting to go sockless. And more than anything, it just looks like they've forgotten to put socks on, because you can just see a little smidgen of skin and it looks kind of weird. If you want to go sockless, you've got to dress around that. And cuffing your trousers a bit can add to that type of aesthetic. It makes it look like a more intentional decision. This is quite similar to number 4 on this video, and that is if you're wearing cropped jeans. Now, this is a look personally that I don't really go for. These are trousers that essentially finish quite a bit further up the leg. And once more with this one, I think it's about giving the impression that it's an intentional decision. The reason that I don't like cropped jeans normally is because on most guys, it just looks like they're wearing jeans that are way too short, that they've either picked the wrong length jeans or they've stolen their girlfriends. I think that cuffing your jeans in this situation just straight up looks better, because it makes you look like you're wearing cropped jeans because they're cropped jeans. And the fifth thing I just want to mention here as well is that I think that generally it looks better when you cuff tighter jeans. Not necessarily like spray-on tight jeans, but just those, you know, the slimmer cuts, the skinnier cuts, ones that are just a little bit tighter, because the looser fits of jeans, they're already really wide. And when you start cuffing the edges of jeans, it just ends up making them look even wider at the bottom. Whereas with the tighter fits, because they're quite narrow towards the bottom, lots of them have tapers. When you fold them, it remains relatively narrow and in proportion. If you want some more information on the different cuts of jeans available for men, I recently did a video covering all that good stuff. You'll find it in the iCard above, and I'll link it on the end screen so you can watch another video after this one. But now we move on to the nevers. Here are some things now that I think you should never really do when it comes to cuffing jeans. The first one that probably annoys me the most is when people make huge cuffs on their jeans, where you look to the bottom of their feet and then they've got 2 or 3 inches worth of cuff. I can't be the only one out here that thinks this looks ridiculous, right? But I see it all the time on Instagram and stuff. All this realistically looks like is that you've bought a pair of jeans that aren't just a bit long, that are just way out of proportion, and that you've tried to fold them up to compensate. If you're going for a cuff, keep it small for the best aesthetic. The second thing to avoid is cuffing your trousers when your socks are going to be really exposed. I don't consider socks to particularly be a main item when it comes to outfits, and rolling your trousers up to expose your crazy socks possibly isn't the best aesthetic. And the final thing I'd recommend avoiding is cuffing your trousers so many times that it starts to bulge and hang out to the sides. I mentioned this briefly when we were talking about the looser fits of jeans, but when you cuff jeans, it's only got itself to hang on to. There's often no support there, and especially with some of the bigger cuts of jeans, you'll see that it just starts to fold and sag down to the sides, and it just makes your trousers look unhappy. Do you cuff your jeans? Let me know in the comment section below. Please like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to see more like this one, and I'll see you in the next video.